And we're live.
Yeah. What's good, people? It's your boy Icarus Gray.
And it's your homeboy Wordplay TJ.
And this is the No Rhyme or Reason podcast, where we talk about everything.
Everything for no reason at all.
We are back.
Yeah, and we are sponsored by Ground News, and we're going to get into it right away because what we want to talk about today is the revelations of Wendy Williams. I said it sounds weird, but whatever. Wendy Williams is back in the spotlight, back in the forefront of our minds. We most recently heard from Wendy, or at least seen of Wendy back when the Lifetime documentary about her life and her times as a TV show host and former radio host popped up on the big screen. And since then, we've heard a lot of weird and quite frankly, concerning news about her condition, about her life and what she was going through. And quite frankly, I believe that fans and supporters and overall the culture has been worried about Wendy Williams.
Yeah.
And so in this situation, what I want to do is kind of talk about some background information, also explain why Wendy has popped back up. And then we want to talk about, will the culture show up for Wendy? Will hip hop culture show up for Wendy? Will Black culture show up for Wendy on a greater scale, and just really get a better understanding of what she's going through in order for us to potentially support her. And so here's the background of the situation. This is reported by Forbes just a few days ago, actually, on January 16th. And it was reported by Connor Murray of Forbes. And it says that here's some key background about Wendy. So after finishing her show in 2021, she disappeared from the public eye, and basically people believed it was because of health issues. And then it was reported that she had Graves' disease and then hyperthyroidism as a part of her condition. Fast forward to 2022, and we learned that Wells Fargo froze some of Wendy's accounts after a financial advisor reported to Wells Fargo that there might be some suspicious behavior on her accounts from her son. And so after that, Wendy took Wells Fargo to court and said that they unlawfully froze her account. And this is continuing the report from Forbes. And fast forward, the judge ordered that Wendy have a guardianship. So she was court appointed a guardian, as well as they continued to kind of double down on her condition. So basically saying that she was, incapacitated. She was not able to care for herself. And this is why she needed to be given a guardian. Now, in 2025, Wendy has popped up again. She's done interviews with The Breakfast Club. I think that was released yesterday, which is January 17th. She's done an interview with Don Lemon. And she's also done an interview with Jason Lee. My concern around this is that Wendy is now looking for support in order to be away from New York City. She has no reason to stay in New York City. She's divorced now. And she just wants to go back home and live out the rest of her life in peace. But she feels like she's not able to, and she feels like she's held in a financial prison because of the guardian, allegedly, that she's been assigned, and because of the sort of facilities that she's been put in. So she has zero control or autonomy over her life. and now she's speaking out to the press. So I think that's where I think we should take the discussion is like, first, why were we misled? And then will we show up? So why do you think we were misled in the first place?
I think it's because we don't necessarily protect our talk show hosts in the same way. Oprah rose above basically the same kind of disc jockey talk, Ricky Lake, Maury, Jerry Springer, that kind of stuff, to something more reputable, if you will.
Seemingly reputable.
Seemingly.
To some
allegedly.
people. You know what I mean? Like, because
well, not allegedly, but seemingly.
Being reputable depends on what culture you come from.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Wendy, however, stays in the radio personality space. You know, the Skip Bayless space. I feel like she's our Skip Bayless. She says a lot of things that you either strongly agree with or strongly disagree with.
It's very opinionated.
Yeah. And that's, you know, the space that she existed in. I think that that's causing a certain disconnect from people in terms of actually moving in support of. Mm-hmm. It's really hard to kind of support somebody that you feel is just somebody that spews negativity. And I think that especially towards like the end of her TV show, it just kind of seemed like, man, what is she talking about?
Yeah. I also, when I consider why we were misled in the first place is because Wendy says it in her Breakfast Club interview. Mm-hmm. She says that the system is broken.
Yes.
She says that, you know, this situation that I'm in is not because I should be there. It's because the way this is designed is not built to prove that I have autonomy. It's not built to prove that like somebody, it is ripe with the ability for people to abuse it.
Yeah. Currently, we don't have, in terms of high profile things that I can think of, a conservatorship or any of these things that was actually positive towards the person that's in it. Britney Spears was not a good conservatorship. Michael Orr of the Blindside fame, Baltimore Ravens guard, like that was also not a good one. And now we're here. These seem to be some sort of like, just let this person control or take over somebody's money and do what they want to with it. But a big shout out to Ground News, you know. This is a service that I really do enjoy and hope that we use during this time, whether you are left, right, or middle leaning. Yeah, and you know, it'll protect you from being biased. Like, you might not want to hear something that's left. You might not want to hear something that's right. So know who's actually doing the articles that you're reading. Yeah, let Ground News handle the journalism for you.
Subscribe through my link and get 40% off a Vantage subscription. That is the highest subscription. That's the subscription that I use at check.ground.news/WPTJ. That's check.ground.news/WPTJ. 40% off the Vantage subscription for the year. That comes down to like $5 a month. And so for about $55-$60, you got it for the year. How do you think people are gonna? There's a GoFundMe campaign.
Yeah. There's a GoFundMe and a change.org that I'm sure you can find on the Breakfast Club interview, which will be linked in our description.
Yeah, just I would say Google it. Like Wendy attests in the Breakfast Club interview that like, hey, I got $15 in my pocket because everybody else is controlling the money that I should have access to. And I just want to go home back to Miami and be with my family and have access to my funds so that I can live the rest of my life the way I see fit. And so she's looking for financial support. And I guess the question is, do you think we're going to show up for Wendy the same way that like Britney Spears fans showed up for her?
Sadly, I don't think so. And I don't think so because at this point, the cards are so stacked against her Like, she's not disputing that she has dementia or anything like that. And that is going to be used against her. And cases take a very long time.
I don't mean by the case, right? Like, but the public.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, I think we have to move quickly if anything is going to happen. And do I think people are going to do that? No, I think they're going to be inundated with a lot of information about her dementia and other things and not necessarily want to move on her behalf. Because what they're going to do is, no matter how cognizant she sounds, that's probably going to be the first thing that you think of. And you'll probably go in your mind, well, I don't know how long, da-da-da-da-da. You might just think, well, maybe she's just saying stuff. Maybe she just forgot. Like with Brittany, it was like, you doing crazy stuff, but I think you just crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like there wasn't this added caveat of an actual medical condition. Had we actually been doing something...
but mental illness is medical. And I think that's what people missed.
Yes.
In the conversation around Brittany is that, like, if you're doing things that might be synonymized with having some type of mental condition or having some health impacts to your mind, why aren't we approaching it that way versus being dismissive? I think her fans saw that, and her fans stood up for that. Where I think we might take it, and I say we as Black culture, hip hop culture, I think the way we might take it is, first of all, I believe that we're gonna really. I feel like Wendy is believable in this situation, and I believe that we are going to believe Wendy.
Yeah,
as a culture,
and not to
the other place where I think we're not going to do well is our understanding and our destigmatizing of mental health and health in general.
Yeah,
I think some of us are going to understand how how your health might change and either improve or decline based off of what you have. I feel like all of our speculation about her health is going to be improper and wrong.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's, like I said, the biggest issue for support is because we're not going to have the information that we need. And currently, she can't talk about any of those things really and dig into them because that then becomes certain levels of defamation or could be considered, misleading or whatever the case may be. Like even in the interview,
might undermine her case.
Yeah. And so there were a lot of things that she couldn't say that she would have to talk in certain codes with her niece, Alex. And it's one of those things where I'm hopeful that we will support her, that we will help with this cause, because I currently just don't see the value in these conservatorships. They literally just seem to be predatory from my perspective. And it's not helpful to the person. And ultimately, we've had too many situations where whether it's financial advisors, whether it's all these different people that don't necessarily have to pay for all of the repercussions of how they destroy stuff. So it's not like that person's taxes or credit and everything was messed up. The person that you were supposed to be managing my stuff is messed up.
Yeah.
And the full onus is now on me because I trusted this person, whatever. But it's like you either qualify this person for the job or whatever. So it's an uphill battle that I think that we can win. I just think we have to be diligent and we have to go forward with helping Wendy in that way, because nobody should have to go through this type of situation, whether you have money or don't have money. And it's bad, bro. Yeah. And I just don't like that. What do y'all think about this situation? Do you think it's a crazy thing? Do you know anything about conservatorships or anything like that? Put that down in the comments, and we'll see you guys in the next one, on 1 and 2. And peace.